There is a statistic called game score, which is a Hollinger stat. It's a rough estimate of a player's overall offensive contribution on a game. It's kind of like box plus minus. And the highest game score ever recorded for a playoff series was Michael Jordan during the 1992 playoffs against the Miami Heat. And in that series, Michael Jordan recorded a 38.5 game score. To give you an idea of what that looks like in statistics we're more familiar with, that 38.5 game score reflected a 45 point per game average, 9 rebounds, 6.7 assists on 60% 60% shooting from the field. It's a 3-game series. Obviously, the Bulls swept the series. And so that is the highest game score ever recorded for a playoff series in NBA history. There were 63 game scores of at least 23 or above between the years of 1997 and 2012. Obviously, I'm referring to Kobe Bryant's career. Okay, his team made the playoffs in 2013, but obviously he didn't participate. So during the entirety of Kobe Bryant's playoff career, players recorded game scores during the playoffs of 23 or more. Remember, the highest ever is 38. So anything over 23, we're talking about a pretty good series, a great series. Players recorded game scores of 23 or more 63 times. Now that means it happens quite frequently. Happens 2 or 3 times a year. Okay? I mean, 60 times, that's, in actually less than 20 years. So it happens 3-4 times a year. Some of those were in fact Kobe. Actually, quite a few of them were in fact Kobe. But this is not an infrequent occurrence. Okay? Now I want you to think about all of the great offensive players that played during Kobe Bryant's career. Allen Iverson, Tracy McGrady, Chris Paul, Reggie Miller, Paul Pierce, so many great wing performers. Grant Hill, Anthony Hardaway at the tail end of his career. Jason Kidd. Kobe actually played most of these players. And in fact, a few of the names that I listed actually do not play Kobe Bryant's position, but Kobe would guard them in the playoffs anyway. Okay? Why do I bring this up? None of those players can claim a 23 or more playoff series against Kobe Bryant. None of them. No one can claim a signature series against Kobe Bryant in the playoffs. No one. Okay? Why do I bring this up? Jonny Arnett posted a video a few weeks ago wherein he explored the question of whether Kobe Bryant was overrated on defense. Now, I've heard this narrative a few times, but his videos tend to be very, very well researched. And, I have to respond to it. And so he looks at a number of different factors, and he hones in on Kobe's box plus minus during the last season, I believe the last season or last couple seasons of his career. Actually overall. And he compares Kobe's defensive box plus minus to, let's say, Michael Jordan, he makes the case that Kobe Bryant, who received 12 all-defense team selections, should have only gotten 9 or 10 of them. He makes the case that his defense started to become inconsistent towards the end of his defensive run, if you will. Kobe's last defense team was in 2012. Okay. And he makes the case that sometimes Kobe picks his spots defensively, and that while Kobe was often a great defender and often the best defender on the floor, sometimes he got caught sleeping, missing assignments. He quotes Phil Jackson, who criticized Kobe's defense on a couple of occasions. Says that sometimes Kobe takes chances, doesn't keep his feet on the floor, and quite frankly echoes the sentiment, articulates the sentiment that Jonny Arnett echoed, and that is that Kobe received his defense team's selections towards the latter end of his career based on reputation. This has always been a very strange argument to me. In Johnny's defense, let me say this. In Johnny's defense, he does say that Phil Jackson may well have been attempting to motivate Kobe, by kind of calling him out in the media. And that certainly was a tactic that Phil would use from time to time. But, so like I said, kudos to Jonny Arnett. I mean, his video was very well balanced, although I obviously disagree with its conclusion. But it has always been a very strange argument to me, because the all-defense team was selected by the coaches. So for Johnny and Phil Jackson to think, even if they were serious, even if Phil genuinely did believe that Kobe was winning his all-defense teams, let's say in 2011 and in 2012, on reputation, he would have to be thinking that the other coaches that are trying to score against Kobe would be selecting Kobe based on reputation and not the film that they went over during that season. See, it's just really odd to me. Like you're getting feedback from your team. You've got a great small forward. You've got Tyreek Evans or Eric Gordon or, a Russell Westbrook. And these guys are being defended by Kobe. It would seem to me like they would report to their coach, "Hey coach, let me get Kobe down on the block. Hey coach, let me take Kobe, I can get by him. He's not the same. He's lost a step." They eventually did start doing that, okay? But that was in the year 2013 and 2014. We're talking about the last couple years of Kobe's stretch. It's 12 all-defense teams, which should have been 13, by the way, but I digress. So we're talking about pretty much the 2010, 2011, and 2012 season, wherein the argument is that Kobe was probably slacking a little bit on the defensive end, and looking at the defense numbers, Kobe should not have been receiving those all-defense selections. Okay. So, with that said, I want you to click on the link in the description of the video. That is sort of a highlight film of the Lakers versus the Thunder. It is Kobe locking up Russell Westbrook in the second to last game of the season, of the 2012 season. The Lakers win the game. Russell Westbrook goes 3 for 23 during that game. Defended the entire game by Kobe Bryant. Okay? Again, this would have been the period wherein Kobe would have been, I guess, slipping a bit, not quite as good, or whatnot. But, well, I guess to be accurate, what Jonny Arnett said was that Kobe was not as consistent as were some of the other great defensive players in NBA history. I can't really refute that, because that's kind of a subjective argument. I mean, to say that in your opinion, Kobe kind of took game, wasn't as consistent. I mean, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I can say this, that the player that Jonny Arnett cites as having reflected consistency defensively, maybe he should have been a little less consistent. Because guess who got torched by Dirk Nowitzki in the playoffs during his defensive prime? Kevin Garnett. Do we remember that series? Also, do we remember when LeBron essentially came out as, and this is when he actually became the best player in the league, when he essentially came out as a dominant playoff performer, and pretty much announced his arrival? That was during the 2012 conference finals. Well, LeBron is 6'8", 250, and played the power forward position for much of his time in Miami. Who's supposed to stop LeBron other than Kevin Garnett? LeBron gave Kevin Garnett the business and recorded a game score of well over 23. Like I said, nobody can claim a signature defensive series against Kobe Bryant. The closest anyone came was Reggie Miller, who did it in a series Kobe missed 2 of the games. Okay? So let's talk about this box minus, this defensive box minus here. Jonny, he has to understand this, and I would think that he understands this, but here's the problem with the defensive box plus minus statistic. The defensive box plus minus statistic it's a calculation of basically how many points were scored while you were on the floor. So in other words, how many points did you give up, okay, when you were on the floor compared to when you were off the floor? So Jonny makes the point that Kobe's numbers was pretty low, lowest on the team, or was one of the lowest on the team. What that number does not reflect is who a particular player is guarding while they're on the floor. Okay? So, just follow me here. Let's take this game against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Kobe is guarding an all-star guard, and he's also his team's best offensive player. When Kobe goes to the bench, that's an opportunity for the other team to rest Russell Westbrook. So, when Russ is on the floor, the OKC Thunder will score more than they would when he's off the floor. But it will score less than what they normally score, reflecting Kobe's excellent defense. That explains the box plus minus number. Kobe is playing the whole game, right, against the other team's best offensive wing. Okay? Nor does he have someone else on the floor that can take that assignment. He doesn't have a Scottie Pippen that can take that assignment. That'll still be on the floor with that other guy. That'll still be on the floor with that great offensive player, while Michael Jordan is taking a break. Okay? It was just Kobe. Kobe didn't have any help, okay, as a defensive wing. As a matter of fact, the Lakers did not have an all-defense team member other than Kobe from 2002 for the rest of Kobe's career. Metta World Peace made it the year before he got to the Lakers. Okay? But Kobe was the Lakers' only all-defense team member. Okay? From the last season that Shaq made it, which I believe was 2002 or 2003. I believe it was 2003. Okay? Until the rest of Kobe's career. Okay? Furthermore, Kobe is playing 38 minutes a game. In other words, he's playing best player on the team minutes. Okay? So, when you look at the players that are playing best player on the team minutes, and you look at the shooting guards, Kobe has the best box plus minus. So, what the coaches are looking at is the fact that Kobe is playing the whole game, and their best offensive guard routinely has a bad game when they play the Lakers. Okay. Now let's take that scenario and let's plug in the other all defense guard that was selected that year, Tony Allen. Okay. Tony Allen, if you notice, only played 26 minutes a game. Okay? When he's not on the floor, what is Russell Westbrook doing? Russell Westbrook is scoring. Tony Allen's only going to come in the game, in certain spots and apply defense, but he's an offensive liability. So he can't play the whole game. When he's off the floor, the other team's best offensive player is scoring. So you have, you'll see the difference. That's why it's box plus minus is pronounced. This is what's going on with, let's say, Alex Caruso right now. When your specialists come in, they'll come in and apply defensive pressure to a particular player or just generally on the offense, and you'll see the difference. Okay? But that guy, if he played the whole game, okay, his numbers would more reflect, his numbers would be less pronounced. In other words, lower. Because he's playing the whole game. Okay? So, I'm sorry, Johnny. You got this one wrong. Great video, though. But Kobe is, in fact, one of the greatest defensive players in NBA history. And is the greatest singular component to a championship team in NBA history.